Sheep gang, sheep gang, sheep gang. Oh, oh. I just found out that the last 3 episodes that I recorded have no talking in them because my mic was muted. So, decided to make this episode to apologize for my negligence. And also to kind of recap, even though I did that in the last episode. Yeah. I was thinking so the first 2 episodes are feather runs, where I got 50 feathers to get the Condottiere War Mace. That's what I was going for. And that was fun. I enjoyed kind of running around, checking out the cities. It was frustrating but fun. And then the second one was the last episode, and for the most part I was just playing. I failed the so many times in the last mission. You guys, if you watched it, I got desynchronized so many times, and a lot of the dumb desynchronizations. Okay, wait, let me say it. The beginning dumb desynchronizations were on purpose to kind of try to get out of the boundaries of that final mission in Rome. But the later ones were pure bad. Just like I kept failing at along that wall. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really sad that Voice is gone because there's some funny stuff. But I mean, the funniest stuff is just how hard I was failing. You can see that with or without my commentary. Yeah, but then the thing that I'm most sad about is at the end, while the credits were playing, I did kind of an analysis of Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2. So, and I guess what I want to do in this episode is just kind of recap that, because it was one of the things that I intended to do as I started playing Assassin's Creed 2 is, yeah, to sort of compare and contrast the 2 games, because they're fundamentally different in a lot of ways. So yeah, I guess we'll begin. I think the main thing is that Assassin's Creed 1, the story is such a masterpiece. Like,
you are finished.
let me kill this guard really quick. I need to let's find a good place to overlook the city while I do this. Go to that church. Yeah, so basically if you haven't watched my videos, you know I've played Assassin's Creed 1, and now subsequently I've played Assassin's Creed 2. And so I have like a fresh comparison in my mind. And I liked these games as a kid, so let's get to the top of this church. We'll get to that viewpoint. So yeah, the big thing is that, well, hold on, let me get up here. I'm trying to remember what I said. It came out so naturally when I said it, but my volume was muted, so, or my mic was muted. So I don't know. You've got Assassin's Creed 1, and the story in that game is, in my opinion, one of the great stories in video games, because it's walking you along this philosophical path of what is the morally correct way to rule society. And you've got these 2 factions, the Templars and the Assassins, and it's set in the Crusades when the Assassin Order, or Assassin Sect, whatever, or however you want to look at it, existed in the Middle East. And you are fighting against these Templars whose end goals are, as the game goes on, you realize that the end goals of the Templars and the Assassins are not that different. both sides want peace, both sides want order, and but the difference is the methods by which both achieve them, and both are immoral in their methods in very different ways. And so what it comes down to is this is two things: personal liberty, so the individual liberty of the citizens in society, and paired with that, the attitude that each order has towards the individual, and then how much violence and what kind of violence is permitted. So for the assassins, they believe in, well, let's start with the Templars. The Templars believe that the individual's liberty is not helpful to the individual, and that in fact it can be done away with. It's better if the individual has very little agency and is told what to do. Whereas the assassins think that interfering with a individual's liberty excessively, and this is in Assassin's Creed 1, in Assassin's Creed 1, excessively interfering with an individual's liberty is a undesirable thing in and of itself. So any group of people, any individual that excessively restricts the individual is inherently bad. So that's one part where they differ. And then the other part is the method of violence. So the Templars see the amount of bloodshed is not that important. People can die to achieve their ends. All that really matters is achieving this New World Order. They're a classic sort of New World Order sect, whereas the assassins see you should shed as little blood as possible, to the extreme that assassins take it, where they will target individuals as opposed to engage in open warfare, which is what they're historically famous for. And as the game goes on, you sort of explore both sides of the of this hypothetical, but not entirely historically. This hypothetical conflict that isn't entirely divorced from historical reality. You have this conflict between the assassins and the Templars, and the game goes on, and you explore both sides, and you really start the lines between the two ideologies really blur. And you have this development of Altair, where he goes from this uncontrolled, anarchic, arrogant, egoistic character to a very controlled and aloof and emotionally detached killer, assassin, who sees his actions as a necessary evil, but one that needs to be kept under total control. Now we flash forward 300 years, so it's the Third Crusade, I believe, ends in 1199, if I'm not mistaken. We flash forward to, by the end of Assassin's Creed 2, right here in Florence, 1499, so that's 300 years later. And the assassin philosophy has become completely perverted. In this game, what is held as the correct morality is that of thieves, prostitutes, and mercenaries, that of populist mob uprisings, that of just emotional vengeance, although at the end Ezio, hailing back to this is his one redeeming moment, is he doesn't kill the Pope. At the end of the last episode, he does not kill Rodrigo Borgia, which means that, like, despite all the perversion deep down, Ezio realizes that this isn't about vengeance. It's about being in control. It's about being cool-headed. It's about being seeing what is right and wrong clearly. It's about seeing the truth. But that is not emphasized. He doesn't kill the Pope. You beat up the Pope. You don't kill him. That's one of the most interesting parts of Ezio's story right there. And it's the end, it's good. But the majority of Ezio's story is like an Antifa-esque um, set of political statements, which is that the personal liberty side of things has taken a quasi-religious level of importance amidst the Italian 15th century assassins. The thieves, prostitutes, and mercenaries. Altair's assassins would be disgusted with thieves, prostitutes, and mercenaries. They are the kinds of people that Altair would have killed. Pimps and female like in this it's always female pimps or madonnas, or which is such a foul usage of that word to describe these contemptible women. These, what's the other word for them? Madams. There's a word for like a female runner of a brothel. These are pimps. Altair would slay them or disregard them, but he would not associate with them. Thieves. These are people that just show the exact same disregard for the people that the Templars in Assassin's Creed 1 did. They just steal from them. Thieves are they just steal from other people. And mercenaries, in Assassin's Creed 1, there are multiple mercenaries, arms dealers, generals, like sort of corrupt generals that you kill. But now we just associate with them and we don't question it. So the personal liberty side of things has taken over the Assassin Order in this game, and it has resulted, and then you can see it, the ultimate example of it is these non-assassin-esque operations that they conduct. A mob uprising in Florence to depose Savonarola. That's not assassin-like. That's the opposite. That's using political manipulation to get a crowd to do things, and of course they end up trying to burn him alive. They, the people need a bit of order, and Altair and Al-Mualim and the Assassin Order and the Third Crusade would agree. It is not about creating anarchy. It is not about telling people to just do what you want. It is not about just thoughtless anti-authoritarianism. It is about the end goal of the Assassins and the Templars is the same: peace and order. The only difference is how it is achieved. It is achieved. That's the interesting conflict of this series, and in this game, literally in Assassin's Creed 2, this interesting moral, philosophical, historical, and yeah, it's a philosophical question. How do you achieve good? What is the best way to achieve good? And the Assassins and Templars disagree on this, but literally by the second game, the Assassins have been corrupted into Antifa. And yeah, I just think that's this game's story is a story about vengeance. That's what the formula is. Ezio's family is killed. We're gonna get revenge for 17 hours of gameplay. The people that I killed, I don't really remember. I remember Savonarola. I remember the Pazzi and thinking, why are these like? Is there not a more assassin-like way to solve this problem? Shouldn't Ezio be told, alright, cool yourself. If you want to go get revenge, then go get revenge. But if you're going to be doing stuff for the assassins, if you're going to be an assassin, that's not how we do things. We figure out who needs to die so that as little blood is shed, so that peace and order reign. That's what being an assassin is like. But instead, we literally exterminate the Pazzi line. We exterminate a whole family. And in the game, the way the game plays out, there's no real reason why that we're told. The Spaniard, there's a shadowy figure, and they're his pawns. Are we being an assassin? Let's figure out who the shadowy figure is. And like, maybe the Pazzi are... Why do we need to completely eliminate them? I feel like Al-Mualim would look at what Ezio did and say, and slap him in the face, and say, "You're arrogant, uncontrolled, undisciplined, and you need to cool yourself and use reason, like an assassin." Yeah, so I remember killing Savonarola just because that's an interesting political moment. The Pazzi are, yeah, I mean, and then in Venice, we have to go through multiple doges because we're just killing them willy-nilly without thinking about it, and also in all these assassinations. In Assassin's Creed 1, when you assassinate someone, there's a dialogue where the victim, the target, explains the inner turmoil that as a human they feel while they commit these heinous acts that they were committed in the first game. You've got arms dealers, you've got these corrupt merchants, you've got mad priests and stuff like that. But they have like this human inner dialogue, whereas in this one, not really. Just not as the targets, the depth of the targets is just, it's taken a heavy downgrade in the second game. Yeah. So I guess to wrap, I don't want this to drag on too long, but to wrap this up, the story of Assassin's Creed 1 is far superior. That is an adult, mature, philosophical, interesting story. That as a child, I played that game when I was like 13. When I was 13, it provoked thought in my mind, and now that I'm considerably older than that I'm I'm a adult, it's still provoked thought. This, when I was 14 or 15 or whenever I played Assassin's Creed 2, I was like, oh yeah, Ezio's a boss, he's fucking all these hot chicks, and he kills whoever he wants, dude, it's awesome. But now, as an adult, I'm like, Ezio is a petulant, uncontrolled, ill-disciplined child. Also, historically, what Ezio has done, this destabilization that he's caused, does no good for Italy. Italy, for the next 500 years, is going to be completely fractured. 400 years is going to be totally fractured. Totally, like, dominated by other countries. It's about to get invaded and ripped apart. It does get united, and we'll see what happens historically in the in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, because with the invasion of the French, there should be interesting things that happen. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, of course, the systems in this game are much more advanced than Assassin's Creed 1. Assassin's Creed 1 as a game is very repetitive, but I found the repetitiveness of it slightly paired with the philosophical story and the arc of Altair needing to go back and behave responsibly and go through the steps of being an assassin and not act like a arrogant, ill-disciplined egomaniac. The repetitive nature of having to go through the steps before you get to assassinate. You have to go through these sort of boring missions. You have to pickpocket and eavesdrop. You have to go through these kind of boring things. Go around the city, listen. It fit in with the story. Now, as a game, I would not necessarily replicate that. In this game, the systems are great. Building the villa, collecting the weapons, the armor, the paintings, the different dyes of clothing, all the new weapons, the new weapon wheel, the gun, the poison, all that. Very cool. Very cool. And the cities, of course, are stunning. But in Assassin's Creed 1, the cities were stunning as well. And there's some little things that I prefer in Assassin's Creed 1, graphics-wise. Like the blood. Here, let's get in a fight. It's dark now, unfortunately. I want to show you guys the blood. And then, I wish I could record this without, I wish I could jump to Assassin's Creed 1 to... Although I actually have it uninstalled now. But, yeah, here we go. So, let's look at, well, I'll equip my stiletto's gone. How bizarre, I don't know what it is. So, like, watch, you see that blood? It looks... He's dead now. Maybe not. The blood in Assassin's Creed 1 was, like, misted. It was, like, this misted blood from, like, a gunshot or something. And it was way cooler. The blood was better in Assassin's Creed 1. There are a few textures that I preferred in Assassin's Creed 1. Some of the textures in this are a little bit cartoony. And also all the icons up here in the top left, the icons above this guard's head are completely unnecessary. The highlighting is a little excessive too. Like, the highlighting is important for locking on, but it doesn't need to be this over the top. Yeah, so there are a few just little things. Mad Hasher has just heard the news about the missing audio. No. Anyway, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think as Ezio gets older, his the philosophical stuff comes back, if I recall correctly from Brotherhood and Revelations, which we're going to be playing. So, and yeah, I mean, everything else is pretty obvious, and I think it's been stated by other people. The mechanics are better in this game, the animations are great, the cities are bigger, it's cool. But, the other thing that this game is missing are like those Templars in Assassin's Creed 1. There aren't any enemies in this that are super hard to kill. Not that the Templars were the most difficult video game challenge I've ever had, but they were at least, especially early in the game, if you ran into one, it could be bad. You had to run away, or be pretty careful. So, yeah, I think again I've been over it, but my official statement is that the politics of Assassin's Creed 2. Here's the other thing that I was gonna say. Ezio his whole family gets killed. His brother, I think it's implied his mother gets raped. Only Claudia is like safe from some of the abuse that. Oh, is that a feather? His brother, his two brothers, his father are hanged publicly, betrayed by a friend, and his mother, I think, is supposed to have been raped, unless I've like my mind goes to dark places too easily. If I remember that first episode, I think she got raped. His family is disgraced and ruined, and so he's fully within his rights to go on a killing spree. But he's inducted into the Assassin Order, and these other people that surround him. You've got like his uncle Mario, who's a mercenary, a brazen mercenary, who admits to having no true loyalties. You've got La Volpe, a thief, a psychopathic thief. You've got what's her name, Paola, who's a female pimp, a madame or whatever you call that, a whore, a prostitute. you've got that guy in Venice, a thief, who's just he voices his politics quite clearly in a mission in Venice. He's just like he thinks that thieves. He says, "quote thieves, whores, and mercenaries are the true nobles." That's insane. You've got Theodora. That's all I have to think about her. Wait. Here's what I think about Theodora. You've got that incompetent mercenary from Venice who like has a name for his sword because he's such a insane mercenary that he like what did he call his sword? He had some like Bella or something for that. Some name for his sword. And then you've got Machiavelli and Caterina Sforza. Caterina Sforza is an incompetent adulteress who loses the Apple of Eden and her castle within 20 minutes. Complete incompetence. Yeah, and then Machiavelli, who sort of impotently and pompously, and this is a strange depiction of Machiavelli in this game. I mean no insult to the historical figure, but the Machiavelli in this game goes around pompously, achieving nothing. These people who surround him, the assassin order here, are a bunch of hedonists, degenerates, profligates, reprobates. They are amoral, greedy, lustful, and it's such a fall, such a descent from the heights that Al-Mualim, Altair, and the assassins of the Middle East were the heights that they were at, like the moral stability that the Middle Eastern assassins had compared to the anarchic populist degeneracy that the Italian ones have is it's very sad. So that's my official statement. Trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten. I don't think so. I apologize again for the missed audio. I was hoping I'd be running around more, killing things, so this is more fun to watch than just listening to me talk, but I can't really do that while I talk. But yeah. I think this is gonna be. I don't think we're gonna get the rest of the 50 feathers. I think we will. We might. I'm gonna leave this installed just in case I need to come back and talk more about various problems with this game. We got the sword of Altair here. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna needlessly kill these guards. True Assassin's Creed fashion. Let's see who really gets hit and then testicles alive. We got one more taunted. Alright, thank you for watching.